Their foundational notion is to break down. 10,000 of them need to find other jobs, and many of them need to experience what they have done to other people, myself included. It's a little noisy. Got the street cleaners and the people coming down. Hello, I'm Will. I am a parroter, a denizen of Paratopia. This is the original parrot, or something like it, an electronic recording device. This is just audio. The thing that's taking a picture of me is video, my phone. You know, 21st century media is upon us. Though we're still, a lot of us, thinking in the 20th century mode, which is when incredible resources had to be amassed and organized in order to start a new, to broadcast something. You have to have a studio, big cameras, editing. Was it actual, literal splicing of film? And then you had to have distribution networks, because until TV, movies were only seen in theaters. TV comes along and kind of makes a change, so then there it differentiates, there's the kind of stuff you see in a big theater versus what you see on a TV. Now, we're in a time where we need to ask ourselves, well, what is it to actually have the whole frickin' studio and the distribution network in the palm of our hands? We can talk to anybody. Any one of us can share whatever we want with the world. I mean, maybe nobody will listen, but that doesn't... Actually, I find in the work that I do, the work I do is worth the time alone. The time that I spent working on presenting myself, explaining myself, first to myself, because if I can't make sense of what I'm saying, you're not going to be able to. And I happen to be a kind of person who, for the first half a century of my life, actually could not keep track of my own thoughts, let alone communicate my thoughts to other people. I was one of those people who people would say, that guy, I think he's really smart. Hey, I think he's really smart, but I don't know what the frick he's talking about. And I'm not sure he does either. I mean, there's smart and then there's smart. The two kinds of smart. There's like, book smart or born with smarts, but you're not using them. I look around me. Oh, if I were Paul McCartney, I would say, you'd think the world has had enough of silly love songs. I look around me and I say it isn't so. Some people want to fill the world with silly love songs. What's wrong with that? The money flows, so here I go again. Oh, how much money? Why need people just counting my money? Because when I pander to people's most silly and fantastic ideas about what life really is, as opposed to talking to people about what life is, like my erstwhile partner before he got, we split up before he got shot across from the Dakota apartment building it's like home, like mansions inside of that place. John Lennon had, I think, like 3 or 4 apartments like near each other, and so he could go, like, so there's an apartment, like 8-10 room apartment here, and then you go into that room and there's a staircase going up to another 6 room or 7 room apartment or something. And so he could, like, you'd need a 3D map of the people who live, because if you want to see their homes, inside the Dakota, they're really interesting. And he had an interesting home. And he actually talked about things that were really important. And it's actually not surprising. I remember very well the day he got shot, the night he got shot, because I was working in the computer room of Morgan Stanley. I worked there for a while. Gorgon Stanley, I called it. And I worked there until they had an upper-out policy, and I knew it was just a matter of time. I mean, I wasn't going to go up the ladder. But I wanted to learn about computers, and they had this computer training program. So I did it. And the first piece was working these 12-hour shifts in the computer room. And I'm pretty confident I was taking these huge wads of paper, that were being just shooting out of the printer. Like if there was an abnormal ending of a computer, an ab end, the computer would just say, blah, whatever shit was in there. I mean shit. By shit, I mean zeros and ones. And some set of zeros and ones screwed up the whole frickin' system. So then you get this dump. It's a great term, a dump. I got to take a dump. And it would be like, you got to understand something about me. If you're going to listen to me, plan on hearing the end of my sentence at some other time, because I start off one way and then somewhere in the middle it gets awful queer to me. That's Big Bird, Big Bird's walking down Sesame Street and he sees like on the wall right at the school. And he's looking at it. He goes, wow, that's a really big word. And he starts to sound it out. You see, the thing about Big Bird is he was an expert decoder. He wasn't all that smart in terms of a lot of he or she. We were never sure. Who is Big Bird, a boy or a girl? I don't know. Anyway, it's not really relevant. The point is that Sir Big Bird. Sir Big Bird, except ma'am, sir ma'am, Big Bird. Whatever the hell. Why am I concerned about this gender of Big Bird? I don't know. Why would anybody give a shit? Anyway, Big Bird's walking down the street. He sees this big thing up along the wall. And he again, remember, he's a master decoder. He goes, Abkadefkid Wow, that's the most remarkable word I've ever seen. I wish I knew exactly what it means. Well, it starts out like an A word, as anyone can see. But somewhere in the middle, it gets awful queer to me. Oh, apkajeki jigglemanofquisuixes. If I ever find out just what this word means, I'll be the smartest poor bird the world has ever seen. And the black human, I mean, they're all humans, except some of them wear funny costumes. Whereas the guy that doesn't have anything over his head, he just wears normal clothes. And I forget his name. Abner is not his name. That wouldn't be right for a black guy. Melvin, would be an okay name. I'm actually thinking about a poor guy that I met in jail named Melvin. 56 years he got. Outrageous. 56 years. He was in some kind of altercation with two people. And it really escalated. And apparently he got his gun. And he threatened them. I mean, he basically told them, you get down on the ground. I think he was going to, I don't know. He didn't tell the whole story, but I know that he had no intention of hurting them. I think he was going to call the police. He was going to tell them to stop and then stay there with his gun on him. And he was going to call the police. Guy's 44 years old. He once had some problems when he was 18, and that's important. 18. 44 minus 18. That's 26 years. No problems, but because he did something when he was 18. Guess what? Manslaughter. Attempted manslaughter is normally a 7 to life. Now, attempted manslaughter in his case means he had the gun on these guys, and he was really nervous, and he made the trigger go. Nobody got hurt. Nobody got hurt. That's important. And he waited. He stayed. He kind of freaked out, called the cops. He waited. Cops came. So these two people, who of course were not his friends, I mean, maybe they had been his friends, but something went wrong. And so these two people basically arranged things so he would look like he was an outrageous person. The fact that the guy, well, I think we need to do a biography on him and talk to him about, including his estranged wife, and was that his life sort of came apart in 2011. He was living in Beverly Hills. He had a very straight job, and he was, and wow, 56 years, and we think, how the hell does that happen? 56 to life, I think. It's supposed to be 7 for attempted manslaughter. But, okay, there were 2 people. He shot the gun once. There were 2 people. But there were 2 people. He attempted to kill both of them, even though he only shot once, apparently. I don't know. You know what? I have a feeling he was stupider than I mean, he was in a bad situation, and he did some dumb things. Maybe he shot a few times. I don't really have any idea. The thing I do believe is true is that nobody got hurt. And this guy has a 56-year sentence. 56 years. And nobody got hurt. No matter what he did, nobody got hurt. 56 years to life? Excuse me. How does that happen? Well, it happens because the prosecutor says, well, but there were 2 people. You tried to kill 2 people. Nobody got hurt, but you tried to kill 2 people, so it's got to be doubled. And then there's something else. I don't know what the other doubling is. So it goes from 7 to 14, but then to 28. And I don't know how that happened. But there's another one that's very important, and it's real. This is the way things work. The guy did something when he was 18. So the whole thing gets doubled. That's how he gets 56 years. We haven't forgotten about you, Melvin. You know what? I have a feeling, though, that I did lose your address. You gave me something, but I did give you. I hope you got to get through to thegodsford.com, because we're going to help you, because this is bullshit. And the thing is, you're just one of a lot of people, and actually yours is a really weird, very strange kind of thing, whereas a lot of the things are just incredibly stupid, petty crap in which the agents of the taxpayers, this particular group of agents, 10,000 strong, overseeing an ongoing influx and outgo of prisoners, 18,000 prisoners, 10,000 people to keep 18,000, to put away 18,000 people. And that's really the way they look at it. And this is the story. The story is not about individual injustices, of which there are plenty. And, well, the fact that I got this on me, there's a whole very interesting story. Very interesting story. And, I've, editing it. And actually, because I was recording. When I got arrested for dancing. And I'm serious. I'm not kidding. I mean, people say, oh, were you naked? Fuck you. I would have said I was dancing naked. No. I was dancing on a public street. I'm not going to go into many more because it's all explained in tantalizing detail. Ha! Anyway, okay, so you just have to accept this. I've accepted this about me. That, well, what was it? Why did I? Well, this could be interesting. We can go back a little bit. And thanks to it, parroting. Actually, that's really what I was talking about, and that's the more important thing. I want to introduce you to why there is such a thing as parrotopia and what it's based on. Parrotopia is really a state of mind. It's something if you feel that you're in the parrotopian mood, you're a parrotopian, just as long as you want to be. And then when you're not, you're not. It's that simple. One of the things that I've learned is to go back in time. So when I don't remember something, I know that I got sidetracked, actually multiple times. I got sidetracked from one thing, and then in just explaining the next thing or talking about the next thing, I got sidetracked. So we could go back, which is an interesting kind of exercise, practice. Because parroting is actually, it's a practice. It doesn't even require a recorder. The thing about a recorder is that a recorder captures things as they are. And obviously not everything. It's not capturing the visuals. It's not capturing the smells. I mean, a camera can capture the visuals, but it can't capture the smells and, other things. So a lot of things that happen when we're living life fully here, as opposed to mediated through some kind of electronic device, through, the sound wave, radio waves that go up to go to the microwave towers and get, all that, to think that to talk to my friend, to decide if my friend is lying to me or not, for example. I'm going to find that out through a text. Well, back and forth maybe eventually, but you know what? Go up to your person and say, excuse me, you told me, what are you saying? You said you were going to help me out here, and, it's okay, you don't have to help me, but if you're going to say, if you say you do it, then you gotta, that's a commitment. I mean, if there's a change of plans, or you really just decide you don't want to do it, that's okay, all of that's okay, but you owe it to me to come and tell me and say, I'm not going to help you out like I said I would because I can't, or whatever. Or because it doesn't matter what the reason is. The important thing is you have a contract with another human being when you interact with them. And the contract, I believe, is in layers. The bottom layer is respect. And that's really, you know what? Time to stop. Because that's it. I mean, I could break into R-E-S-P-C-T. Tell me what it means to me. I like those words. Tell me. Or she might say, I'll tell you what it means to me. I don't know. Either way, I actually think I like it if she says, old Aretha Baby, or whoever wrote the song, tell me what respect means to me. You tell me. In other words, pay attention to what I expect from an interaction with a person that I'm giving my time, my energy to, I'm being nice to, because that's the next level, I think. There's respect, and then there's this idea that I'm committed to being good if I can. Well, good, period. Yeah. I mean, not with everybody. I mean, being a nice guy, you talking to the guys who run this place, and you're going to be a nice guy, pop, poo, poo, poo. What a bunch of, forget about it. Actually, when you're talking to these guys, what you do is become a servile little worm, because that's the only thing they want. And once you give it to them, then, the rest of your life is your own. I mean, even if they've got you inside their little boxes that they are getting paid to put people in. And they're getting help, they're getting encouraged by the people who make money off there being a very sizable prison population. A population which, by the way, as these people spend time in prison, they just become more likely let's change it the other way around. They are every day they spend there in which they're eating food that's mind-numbing food. It just shuts you down and constipates you. It's not correct food. With no programming. No, they say they have programming. There is a great program. There's a book called GOGI. G-O-G-I. Getting Out by Going In. 12 tools about what it means to get out of the prisons of your mind, as well as the prisons that are given to you by others, by going inside and really understanding how you can serve yourself. You can help yourself. You can change. We can all change. You don't have to change everything at once. You don't have to sort of become good all of a sudden. Or a lot of people in prison are very impulsive, like me. You want to do something, you just do it. Don't think a lot about it before doing it. Doesn't mean you're not smart. It just means that you're doing something that, as you get older in life and stronger in understanding the way things work, you become more and more decisive about taking care of yourself. And you say, what do I need to do to take care of myself? One thing I need to do is honor my own commitments to myself. And in order to do that, I can't oversell myself. I can't say, I'll just stop a habit that I've been doing for my whole life. I'll just stop it like that. Oh no, that's way too much. It's a setup for failure. And it's something that school teaches us, how to set ourselves up for failure. And our parents and, in the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, which runs the Los Angeles County Jail, is founded, its basic foundational principle is that we break down people. We break them down. That is our job.